What's up, Hoop fans? This is Gary with Hobby Lottery, and today we're counting down the top 10 of our list of 20 most valuable Silver Prizm rookie cards from the 1920 NBA draft class. Before we jump into it, if you're new to the channel, stay tuned until the end. We will be giving away some rookie cards in today's video. Also, if you're looking for an affordable way to build your collection, I have links to my repack products in my eBay store down in the description link below. Disclaimer here, all these transactions are going to be based, let's get this back up. All of our transactions are going to be based off of the month of October and how these players closed out at the end of the season up until the 27th. I also took the time to make sure that it was just buy it now listings and final auction listings. There are no best offers factored into these average price points that I'm about to deliver, just because there's no real way to confirm what the offer was. The softwares that are supposed to tell you do not work. Without further ado, I think that is everything. We got an honorable mention. This is going to be Kendrick Nunn with the Silver Prizm update. The reason I didn't include him into this initial top 20 list is because he's only featured on the Silver Prizm update because he went undrafted. So he wasn't in the original Panini set. The Silver Prizms are far more rare than your basic standard Silver Prizm. So for example, if you were to buy the Panini retail box, I think it's the one with 90 something cards in it. I can't remember exactly what it's called, like the retail mega, something like that. Anyway, it guarantees you a certain amount of Silver Prizms, whereas Chronicles doesn't guarantee these Silver Prizm updates at all. You just got to pray and hope that you get them. But the average selling price of this is actually $76. But I don't think it's fair to kind of compare him to the other 20 rookies that I spoke of. But one thing I do want to mention about Kendrick Nunn, he is a great player, but I think he has the potential to be, let's just say he averages 20 plus points, 25, he's a 25 point per game scorer for the next 12 years or whatever. His cards may be so high in value just off of the collectability. And what I mean by that is the Silver Prizm being an update card, that's always going to be worth a lot. And then also his optic holo doesn't have his name on it, so he just has some gimmicky stuff about him that can make him be really valuable if he maintains a strong level of production. But honorable mention, Kendrick Nunn. Let's move into the top 10. All right, the most valuable Silver Prizm rookie card for the 1920 NBA draft class, in at number 10, Kevin Porter Jr. Average sale price of $56. Real quick, one more disclaimer I forgot to say at the start of the video. Any sold listings of a card that was like way under average, I went ahead and read the description to see what it was. Oftentimes the card was damaged if there was like an extreme outlier. So I do have that factored into these average figures, but let's go ahead and go down here. But yeah, Kevin Porter Jr. I feel like he's slightly underrated as a rookie, even though his market kind of reflects that he is getting the respect that he deserves, but he's a pretty good player. He definitely had a better showing than Darius Garland. The thing is, they got a logjam at the Cavaliers with Darius. They got Colin Sexton, and of course they got KPJ. I do feel more comfortable. I would keep KPJ and move off Garland if I were the Cavaliers. They got to move off one of these guys because they got way too many guards. But I mean, I just feel like he's pretty well-rounded, a versatile player. He reminds me of like a lesser version of Victor Oladipo. To be honest, like, I don't know if he'll ever be all-star status how Oladipo was before the injuries. Man, that one closed out high, but he's definitely got some potential there, and I think he could be a solid NBA player. And I think his development's just stunted by too many guards on the Cleveland Cavaliers. But there you have it, Kevin Porter Jr. on to number 9. All right, the number 9 most valuable Silver Prizm rookie card from this year's draft class, Bol Bol, the hit of my last break. If you didn't catch that video, the Nuggets versus Sacramento Kings, but that's a very good sign. His average selling price, though, is actually $58 over the course of this month to round out the NBA season. That one recently sold for $74 2 days ago. That's awesome. But Bol Bol, he's an interesting prospect. I mean, the thing, I'm not gonna lie, the thing that, dang, 97, holy cow. Wow, that was really a hit in that break. But back on track here, but Bol Bol, He's an interesting prospect. The thing that concerns me the most is just his long, lanky skinniness. The one thing I seriously think of he shoots a lot of mid-range jumpers and threes, and he elevates really high on his jump shot. I don't know if you guys have noticed, him and Eric Pascal kind of do that, but they jump really high when they shoot jumpers. And I swear, if someone pulls the Zaza Pachulia, what he did on Kawhi Leonard, like someone closes out too hard and their foot gets under him, I just think like he's gonna tweak his ankle and then like just have injury problems just because he's so tall and skinny. I wonder, like, his health is a major concern for me, but he's very skilled and very talented, man. I've seen him handle the ball on the breaks. He's a pretty good shooter for his long. Oh, we're down in September now, but he's a good shooter for just his size and his build, and he's a good passer. He showed me some things in the bubble, but nothing really to warrant this price. I think, in my opinion, he's way overpriced. Nikola Jokic is in front of him, so unless Jokic goes down, I really don't see Bol getting a ton of minutes, but hopefully he'll play more next year off the bench. But yeah, his cards are very valuable. I would be really concerned about him as an investment standpoint, but he is a cool guy to collect just because he's kind of freakish, like Mo Bamba is, just long guys who can shoot. But that's it, Bol at number 9. All right, the number 8 most valuable Silver Prizm rookie card from this year's NBA draft class, Rui Hachimura, average selling price of $63 at this time to close out the year. The thing with Rui, kind of like I was saying with Kendrick Nunn, he has an extra collectability aspect to him, and by no means earlier was I mentioning that I really think Kendrick Nunn will average 25 a game for the rest of his career. I'm just saying with the misprint on his card, and then as well as him having a Silver Prizm update as his 2 first rookie cards, make it to where his potential cards could be a lot more if he does turn out to be just awesome for his career. With Rui, he is the first Japanese-born player to be taken as an NBA lottery pick in the top selection, and then he also made all-rookie team as well. But dude, it could be Yao Ming 2.0 with him. And here's the thing, guys like him, like, he doesn't really play extremely good defense, but he is an offensive talent, and he's going to be on a pretty terrible team with the Wizards, and I think he'll be a guy who puts up big numbers on a bad team, which will cause his stuff to go up. And then, of course, if, the Japanese fan base gets behind him and it really elevates his stuff to another level, I could see somebody really making some money off Rui if they're looking at him as an investment standpoint. But overall, I do like him as a player. I think the Wizards, when they started off this season, they actually had like 3 140-point games in like the first month or 2 because they didn't play any defense. They just scored a whole lot of points. And I think Rui is at least the 3rd option behind Beal and John Wall. I think he's also, you got Bertans, but Bertans is really just catch and shoot only. And then maybe I think it's Thomas Bryant on there as well. But I think he's a top option. He'll get a lot of touches, and I think he'll average in the high teens, and he'll put up good numbers on a bad team, making his prices go up. So that's my brief take on Rui, and I could go more in depth on any player. If you guys comment below who you want to see, I'd be glad to do a video. But that's it for Rui. Coming in at number 7, most valuable Silver Prizm rookie cards for the 1920 draft class, Sekou Doumbouya. Average selling price at this time, $65. We'll scroll through some listings here. So the thing with Doumbouya, man, he's just raw. Like, I don't know. He kind of reminds me of like, and again, I'm not saying he'll be like a Giannis level talent, but just when Giannis came in, he was just very athletic, and he just had the NBA body and makeup to where if he developed his skills, he just became this 2-time MVP. But Sekou, he is very athletic, and he's a good defender. He just, got to work on, get his offensive game more polished. But here's the thing, he is on Detroit. Terrible team, dude. That's an awful team, especially Blake Griffin has injuries the way he has been. I mean, they have nobody to really look to. Like, they'll be probably the worst team in the NBA next season. But with that being said, that's going to open up a lot of opportunity for him to develop. He'll get a lot of minutes, a lot of playing time. Him and I believe it's Christian Wood is also looking pretty good. Don't sleep on Luke Kennard. Don't sleep on him. He really improved this year, and honestly, next year with no star to take touches from him, who knows? They're talking about trading Derrick Rose, but they've been talking about that. But Luke Kennard might actually have a pretty good season next year, and also Sekou might as well. I could just, again, bad team, lots of opportunity. He could see those inflated numbers, similar to how Michael Carter Williams did during the process, or Jahlil Okafor during the process with the 76ers. That might happen with Sekou, and you can see his prices jump up pretty decent. And then, I don't know, long term, not too sure about him, but that's how I feel. Coming in at number 6 on the most valuable silver prisms for this draft class, Cam Reddish. Average selling price closing out at $70 at this moment. This is one, man, I feel he's pretty overpriced. Now, I know there's a lot of people who really like Cam Reddish, think he has a lot of potential, and I agree. Something about him just screams, I just don't see him being consistent. I don't know, man. This is one guy who I'll admit, I mean, of course, it's all like speculation, but this is one guy who I feel like I could really be wrong on. Like, honestly, if I were the Hawks, I'd feel more comfortable with DeAndre Hunter. I feel you get more consistency out of him, and I would like trade Cam Reddish maybe. He just strikes me as the guy who could have dang near a triple-double one night and then just kind of disappear the next. It's just something about his makeup. I can't quite explain it to where I don't... And this is what I mean too about how I rule out these in my averages. Like, this one's way underpriced on the other ones, and he says damage, see description. But yeah, man, Cam Reddish, good offensive talent. I mean, he's got skills, he's got potential, but I don't know, man. He just doesn't strike me as some guy who's going to be locked in. I don't know. I would gladly do a video on him and get more composed on my thoughts of him, but I'm just not as high as most people. Definitely not $100 high. On to the next one. Coming in at number 5 most valuable silver prisms from this draft class, RJ Barrett at $115 average selling price throughout October. RJ, I know he's insanely expensive now, but hardly anyone's cheap anymore. I mean, you guys all, if you watch for the first part of this, you saw Lucas Simonic and some other ones going for a lot. You can't really get any really cheap investments unless the guy's just hardly playing at all in the NBA. But RJ Barrett, quite possibly, I honestly think he has the most upside. I mean, I won't go that far, but he just got drafted to a terrible team. Like, RJ Barrett, I really believe is so good. I think his numbers are really going to go up. I think he's on the same level as Ja Morant. I truly believe that. Just the freaking New York Knicks, man, that poor guy. But I'm telling you, if they get some shooters around him, just any kind of spacing, you're really going to see him erupt. I already did a video on him, so I won't just go too far into detail. But I definitely think he'll be 20 point per game scorer down the road, well-rounded player, someone you can build a team around. I am very high on RJ Barrett, but so are a lot of people too, because these prices are pretty steep on him. But you could definitely look at his optic hollows, check out getting those graded, and his silver prism draft picks actually go up quite a bit in value if you get some gym 10s on those also. But RJ Barrett, coming in at number 4 on this year's most valuable silver prisms for this rookie class, Tyler Hero. Average selling price right now $143, and he is practically tied with our next player, who I'll go over here in just a moment. But Tyler Hero, scroll through some of these listings. I mean, you guys have seen it. No sense in, and I definitely would do a video on this guy down the road probably, but yeah, man, I mean, he showed us what he's made of in the bubble. Really had some big games, big time plays, made some big shots, got a lot of playing time in the finals, and you know, he had his impact on the game. And he is young, dude, 19 years old, coming in the NBA, probably 20 now. A lot of room and growth for this guy. And then if the Heat decide not to sign Goran Dragic back, he's going to get a whole lot of run. Kendrick Nunn's going to get a lot of run. These two guys may really have their numbers kind of balloon over the next season or two. But Tyler Hero, man, $143. The thing I will tell you, before the bubble, Man, last time I had really looked at his sold listings, he was around like 70 to like $90 was like his range. Now it's up to 200 and as low as like 140. So yeah, he's definitely some. Coming in at number 3 on our list of most valuable silver prisms from this year's NBA draft class, we have Kobe White. Average selling price $144. Now the thing with Kobe White, even though him and Tyler Hero are pretty much neck and neck, his prices have been high since from the season. It didn't just balloon up how Hero did in the bubble. But, oh, and sorry too, that clip actually, I ran out of memory on my camera, so that's why the Tyler Hero got cut a little short, but I said all I need to say. Kobe White is awesome. Dude, I really like this guy. Unfortunately, you can't sneak up on him, man. He's not the guy you can buy low and hope for the best. Although you could argue that this is low compared to how crazy silver prism prices go up when a player has one good game. But he is, man, he is an offensive talent. I think he's just really gifted. Too bad they got Zach LaVine. They're focusing more on him, it seems like, as the star of the Bulls than, you know, really giving Kobe White run. They've been bringing him off the bench, which ain't bad. And I don't think he could start with Zach LaVine. I just don't see it. He's just a score-only guy. But, man, his game is smooth. I really like him. I think he'll be a 20-point-per-game scorer. If I had to guess, guys, I think we'll probably average 20 a game from this draft class. Ja and Zion, obviously. I think Hero could get there. I think RJ Barrett will get there. I think Rui has potential, and then honestly, I think Kobe White will probably be close to a career average 20-point-per-game score, man. He's just got it like that, in my opinion. But that's enough of him for now. We'll probably do a video about him down the road, and we'll get into our top 2, who I'm sure you can guess. Coming in at number 2 on most valuable silver prisms from this draft class, Ja Morant. Average selling price $385. Man, you guys already know who he is. Not, you know, we don't even need to jump into the details about his game and who we think he can be. He's the rookie of the year, you know. One thing I can say, his prices are actually lower now compared to where they were when they were making that run in the bubble to try and seal that last spot for the 8th seed in the West. His silver prisms were actually closer to 500 on average. I remember I saw some closing out at like 550. I'm like, dang, his stock is high right now. But I mean, at the moment, honestly, you know, it could be a bit extreme, but I think these will probably be the lowest prices you'll ever see Ja Morant go for again, unless he has some kind of terrible fall off or like some crazy injury, because he's just so good. And man, his potential's through the roof, man. I expect the Grizzlies to have a good season next year. I expect him to get a whole lot of airtime, a whole lot of publicity. More Grizzlies games will probably be televised just because of how this guy's just so highlight centric with his dunks and his play style. Yeah, $385 is probably gonna be the cheapest we will ever see silver prisms of Ja Morant. This guy keeps balling like this or gets better, where he's putting up 25 plus per game and almost double-digit assists like how Chris Paul did in his prime. Man, his silver prisms will probably be up around 700-800. I mean, they were already at 550 this year at one point, but there you have it, man. Ja Morant. Coming in at number 1, the most valuable silver prism rookie card from this year's draft class, the hype of our hobby, Mr. Zion Williamson, closing out the year, sell price of $590. Now, the very first one that appears at the top as I scroll through this sold for $710. There was one point where his silver prisms were going for close to 800 on average all the time. It really fell off in the bubble with that whole minutes restriction thing, and it's like, is he healthy? Is he not? Like, his prices really took a dip during that. Even before, well, basically when that happened, it was confirmed the Pelicans were pretty much not going to make the playoffs because they dropped like the first 2 games in the bubble that they really needed. But yeah, that whole thing I think turned a lot of people off on like just buying his stuff temporarily. But he was up to 800. He's down low as well. I mean, it is a little scary. There's no point in talking about, you know, everything he is as a player. We all know he's good, but his injuries, it is a main concern now. Hopefully, you know, he drops some weight. Man, I haven't seen a silver prism to show you guys here in a little bit. Hopefully he just gets in better shape and he's able to play a full season, man. I mean, that's crazy. a guy this young to be, dang, Panini Mosaic Silver sold for $750 recently. That's crazy. Maybe his stuff's going back up again. Yeah, because I said I cut off at the 27th. These transactions were 2 days after I stopped my research, and those are pretty high. There's one for $650. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Just hopefully he can stay healthy. I mean, the guy put up awesome numbers. Could get more rebounds, but I think he was just out of shape maybe. Didn't feel like chasing the ball down off the rim. But if he just stays healthy, his prices will stay high consistently as well, just like Ja. So this may be one of the lowest points you could see Zion. But I mean, if some weird nonsense happens again this coming season, they could potentially go lower, but I don't see it. I think he'll always have hype and always have buzz. He is a good player, but he is rounding out the top of this list. So I do want to thank you all for watching. Everybody stay safe, be blessed, keep on collecting. Oh, I will pick out some cards for the giveaway on this one. Just comment, let me know what you think of this content and how you like the top 10 lists. Let me know if anyone surprised you, if there's anyone you want me to do an individual video on, and I will do my best to make that happen. And yeah, stay tuned till Sunday. Lucky commenter will get 4 giveaway cards that I'm picking out randomly. They will be all rookies. Everyone, peace.